Imagine yourself standing on the edge of a vast ocean. The waves are crashing relentlessly against the shore. You can feel the power of the water, its unstoppable force. But deep down, you know that the true strength lies beneath the surface. The calm, still waters that hold the ocean's true power. Your mind is just like that ocean. It can be turbulent, unpredictable, and overwhelming at times. But what if you could learn to calm it? What if you could train your mind to overcome any obstacle, no matter how big or small? Have you ever felt overwhelmed by your thoughts? Do negative emotions sometimes take control, leaving you powerless? Or maybe you've tried to silence the endless chatter in your head, only for it to return like waves that never stop coming. Let me give you a simple example. Think about a stressful situation you've been in, maybe at work, with family, or even stuck in traffic. How did you respond? Did you react impulsively, or did you pause, breathe, and respond with calm? The truth is, we often let our minds control us instead of the other way around. But what if you could learn to master your mind, just like a skilled surfer learns to ride the waves? Welcome to Insightful Journey, where we explore powerful ideas from Buddhism to help you train your mind, overcome challenges, and live a life of greater peace. If you're tired of feeling overwhelmed by your thoughts and want to take control of your inner world, you're in the right place. But before we dive deeper into this journey, I have a quick favor to ask. Only 0.2% of viewers are subscribed to this channel, so please hit that like button, leave a comment, share this video, and don't forget to subscribe. It helps a lot, and I'd love to hear your thoughts below. Now let's begin this journey together. Imagine having the ability to face life's challenges with a calm and centered mind. How would that change your life? The answer lies within you, and it all starts with understanding the true power of your mind. Your mind is not your enemy. In fact, like the waves of the ocean, your mind is constantly moving, flowing with its own rhythm and tempo. Yet often we forget that we are not the waves. We are the vast, still ocean beneath them. Our minds are filled with thoughts, emotions, and ideas. They seem to dictate how we feel, how we act, and how we perceive the world. At times, it can feel like the mind is our enemy, especially when we face challenges. But is the mind really our enemy? Or have we simply misunderstood its nature? In Buddhist teachings, the mind is neither inherently good nor bad. It's like a tool. It can be used to build, create, and solve problems. Or it can be used to destroy, complicate, and make life harder than it needs to be. It's not the mind itself that causes suffering. It's our relationship with the mind. When we view our mind as an enemy, we're fighting a part of ourselves. But resisting the mind, trying to suppress its thoughts or fighting against it, only leads to more chaos. It's like trying to stop the waves from crashing. No matter how hard you try, they'll keep coming. Instead of fighting the mind, the key is to understand it, embrace it, and train it. The Buddha spoke deeply about the nature of the mind. He understood that the mind is like a garden. It can be full of beautiful flowers, or it can be overrun by weeds. If we let our thoughts grow unchecked, they can turn into destructive habits, like negative thinking or self-doubt. But if we cultivate mindfulness and nurture awareness, the garden of the mind can be filled with peace, clarity, and wisdom. Training the mind doesn't mean making the thoughts go away. It's about understanding them, observing them without judgment, and choosing how to respond. Think of it like being the gardener of your own mind. When you notice weeds, thoughts that cause stress or anxiety, You don't need to panic or try to yank them out with force. Instead, you observe them, understand them, and gently remove them. With practice, your mind begins to settle, just like the ocean becoming calm after a storm. It's important to understand that the mind is not static. It's always changing, always moving. And that's not something to fear. It's something to embrace. Just like the seasons change, so do our thoughts and emotions. The mind is constantly evolving, and each change brings a new opportunity for growth. Many people spend their lives fighting against their thoughts, feeling frustrated because they can't control them. But controlling the mind isn't the goal. The goal is to understand it, to become aware of how it works, and to learn how to work with it, rather than against it. In Buddhism, this is called right understanding, or right mindfulness. It's the awareness that the mind isn't something to be controlled, but something that needs to be understood and guided with wisdom. Letting go of suffering. This lesson is profound. It teaches us that suffering isn't something we need to fight or resist. The more we struggle with it, the more power we give it. Instead, we must learn to let it come and go, just like the seasons. We must understand that suffering is not permanent, and neither are the feelings that come with it. By practicing non-attachment, we can move through suffering with equanimity, a sense of calm knowing that it will eventually pass. Another aspect of facing suffering without fear is understanding the nature of our own minds. When we're in pain, it's easy to become overwhelmed by our thoughts. We replay events that caused our suffering over and over, deepening the pain. We create stories about how unfair life is, how we've been wronged, how we'll never be happy again. But here's the truth. These stories are not reality. The more you let go, the more you will discover the true strength of your mind. This strength will carry you through any challenge life presents, and through compassion, both for others and for yourself, you'll be able to face suffering with grace, understanding, and peace. If this message resonated with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. How do you face suffering without fear? What practices help you let go and find peace? And as always, like, share, and subscribe for more insights on compassion, mindfulness, and navigating life's challenges with a peaceful heart. Thank you for joining me on this journey. Let's walk the path of compassion and inner peace together. Our thoughts often act as the mind's way of processing pain, sometimes in distorted and exaggerated ways. But in Buddhism, we learn a vital lesson. We are not our thoughts. We don't have to identify with them, even when they are intense or filled with suffering. Instead, we can observe them, watch them pass by like clouds in the sky, without attachment or judgment. When we face suffering, we don't need to let it define us. Mindfulness teaches us to see suffering for what it really is, a temporary experience, not a permanent state. This doesn't mean we ignore the pain or pretend it doesn't exist. What it means is that we can sit with our pain without letting it take over. We acknowledge it, but we don't let it control us. We remember that we are more than our pain, more than our thoughts, more than our emotions. We are the awareness that observes them. The power of impermanence and compassion. One of the most powerful teachings in Buddhism is impermanence, the understanding that everything is constantly changing, nothing stays the same forever, and this includes our suffering. When we're in pain, it's easy to think it will last forever. But the truth is, it won't. Just as joy and happiness come and go, so too does suffering. And when we remember this, we're able to face our pain with a sense of hope and trust, knowing it will eventually fade. In addition to impermanence, Another critical Buddhist teaching is compassion. And here's the key. Compassion isn't just for others, it's also for ourselves. When we face suffering, we often become harsh and critical of ourselves. We think we should be stronger, or that we should handle our pain better. But this only adds to our suffering. Compassion allows us to be gentle with ourselves, to acknowledge our pain without judgment, and to treat ourselves with the same kindness we would offer a friend. With compassion, we begin to heal from within. We recognize that our suffering doesn't make us weak. It makes us human. We can forgive ourselves for our perceived shortcomings and accept that we are doing the best we can, right now, in this moment. Compassion releases the burden of guilt and self-blame that often accompanies suffering and allows us to move forward with peace and acceptance, facing suffering with patience. The path to overcoming suffering is not easy. It takes practice, patience, and a willingness to face the discomfort that comes with change. But it is possible. It is possible to move through pain without being consumed by it. It is possible to face suffering without fear. The key lies in understanding that suffering is a natural part of life. It is impermanent, and through mindfulness, compassion, and non-attachment, we have the power to transform it. Remember this: you are not your suffering. You are the one who experiences it, but you are also the one who has the power to release it. You can choose to face it with calm, with equanimity. The waves may crash around you, but you are the ocean, vast and deep, always capable of returning to peace. Breaking the chains of desire and aversion, now let's sit down for a moment. Just breathe. Don't rush. Let's gently step into something that causes more suffering than most people realize: desire and aversion. These two forces pull the mind around like a puppet on strings. They are the hidden causes behind most of our stress, sadness, restlessness, and exhaustion. Listen carefully. Desire is not just wanting something exciting or beautiful. It's deeper than that. It's the feeling that you cannot be happy until you get it. Maybe it's a new phone, a peaceful moment, someone's love, or even something as simple as silence. When the mind clings to that desire, it begins to suffer. Why? Because the moment it says, "I am not enough. I will only be enough when that thing arrives," that's when the suffering begins. On the flip side, aversion is when something unpleasant arises and the mind says, "No, not this. I don't want this. Take it away." It could be noise, illness, anger, criticism, or loneliness. You feel your mind pushing it away, like a child refusing bitter medicine. But here's the paradox. The more we resist, the more pain we create. The problem is not the thing, but our relationship with it. So what's the real problem? Is it the thing itself? Number. It's our clinging to what we want, and our resistance to what we don't want. These two movements, grasping and pushing, are happening in your mind all the time, every single day, in big ways and small ones. And every time they arise, they pull you out of peace. Let's take a simple example. Imagine you're walking on a quiet road, and suddenly it starts to rain. You didn't bring an umbrella. The rain falls on your shoulders. What does your mind do? It says, "Ugh, this is terrible. I'll get sick. Why? Now I hate this." Now you're no longer just wet. You're also miserable. But the rain didn't cause that suffering. Your resistance did. Or maybe you see someone's new car. It looks perfect. Suddenly your mind whispers, "I want that. My car is old. I would be so much happier if I had that." 5 minutes ago you were fine, but now your heart is unsettled again. The car is not the cause of the pain. It's the grasping. You were fine before, but now your mind is restless. What can we do? I'm not telling you to reject joy or ignore discomfort. I'm asking you to observe how your mind reacts. If you watch closely, you'll see that most of your suffering doesn't come from what's happening. It comes from your relationship with what's happening. This is what Buddhism teaches again and again. The mind creates suffering through clinging and pushing. So what can we do? We begin by watching when desire arises. Don't fight it. Just notice it. Be curious. Watch it come. Watch what it tells you. If I get this, I'll feel complete. Gently smile and say, here you are again. Don't follow it. Don't push it away. Just be aware of it. And let it pass. When aversion arises, do the same. When you feel anger, irritation, fear, or discomfort, pause. Feel it in your body. Don't believe every word your mind is saying. Instead, say to yourself, this is discomfort, and it is here now. Let me sit with it. Like a wave, it will rise and fall. This takes practice, it takes patience, but with time, you will see something amazing. You don't have to obey every desire, and you don't have to run from every pain. You can stay steady, right in the middle, like the eye of the storm. There's great power in that stillness. You begin to taste freedom, not because life is always pleasant, but because your mind is no longer chained to its ups and downs. Things don't control you the way they used to. Buddha never said that desire and aversion are evil. He simply pointed out that they are unreliable. They rise and fall. They come and go. If your peace depends on them, you will always be at their mercy. But if you practice observing them, you'll realize that your peace can come from something far deeper. Your ability to let go, to release, and to simply be. If this resonates with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. How do you practice mindfulness in the face of desire and aversion? How do you stay steady when life pulls you in different directions? And as always, like, share, and subscribe for more insights into living with more peace, presence, and mindfulness. Thank you for being here. Let's continue this journey together. Imagine this. You're walking through life, and your mind is constantly being pulled by desires and fears. You want this, you don't want that, and your mind is swinging like a pendulum. But what if you didn't have to live like that? In Buddhism, we're taught that when we can sit quietly, breathe, and simply let these desires and fears move through us without clinging or resisting, we are no longer slaves to them. You can be free. Now you might be thinking, but what about goals? Shouldn't I want to improve, to be better? And yes, of course, goals are important. Growth is beautiful. The issue isn't in wanting, it's in needing. When your happiness depends on a specific outcome, you will suffer. But when you act from a place of peace without clinging to any result, life becomes lighter. You become more open, more generous, more compassionate, not because you're trying hard, but because your heart is no longer tangled in its own desires and fears. The joy of letting go. And here's something beautiful. The more you release grasping and resisting, the more joy naturally arises. A joy that doesn't need a reason. A joy that comes from simply being alive, being aware, and being here, in this moment, just as it is. So what do we do now? We watch, we breathe, we learn to let go. Let go of chasing after what you think will make you whole. You are already whole. Let go of pushing away discomfort. It's only temporary. Just be still. Be kind to your mind. Talk to it gently. Watch it patiently, and slowly the chains will fall away. This isn't a one-time practice. It's a way of walking through life, a way of being. Day by day, thought by thought, moment by moment. You free yourself. You stop being pulled, pushed, or tossed around by every desire and fear. You become like a mountain, still strong and grounded. You realize that peace was never far away. It was always right here underneath the noise, just waiting for you to stop clinging and come home. Walking the Noble Eightfold Path. Now let's talk about walking the Noble Eightfold Path, the path to true inner peace and mastery of the mind. It's not about quick fixes or overnight transformations. It's a journey that takes time, patience, and effort. Imagine you're walking through a dense forest. There are so many distractions, fallen branches, overgrown vines, pathways that seem to lead nowhere. But then you see a path ahead, clear and inviting. You realize that if you just stay on it, you will find your way to the end. That's what the Noble Eightfold Path does. It clears the path to clarity, peace, and liberation. It's not a set of rigid rules. Instead, it's a way of living, a compass that helps us navigate life's challenges. The Eightfold Path explained. The Eightfold Path isn't complicated, but its simplicity can sometimes feel elusive. But it's through these simple principles that we can transform our lives. Let's dive into the steps. Right view. This is about seeing the world as it truly is, not through the lens of our desires, fears, or misconceptions. Too often we view life through the ego, interpreting events based on our limited perspective. True wisdom comes when we begin to understand things as they really are, not as we wish them to be. Right intention. Right intention is about cultivating the right mindset in everything we do. It's about acting from a place of compassion, kindness, and wisdom, rather than from anger, greed, or ignorance. When we align our intentions with care for others, everything in our life shifts. Right speech. This is more than just the words we say. It's about how we communicate. Are we truthful? Do we speak with kindness? Do we avoid gossip, harmful speech, or unnecessary criticism? Words are powerful. They can heal or hurt, build or break. Right speech teaches us to speak with integrity and listen with an open heart. Right action. Right action is about how we conduct ourselves in the world. It's about living ethically, doing no harm, and being mindful of our actions. This isn't just about avoiding harm, but making conscious decisions that promote peace and well-being for ourselves and others. Right livelihood. This step is about the work we do and the way we make a living. Is our work morally sound? Does it support our values and contribute to the greater good? Right livelihood encourages us to seek work that nourishes our spirit and aligns with our principles. Right effort. Right effort is about cultivating mental discipline. It's about avoiding negative states of mind and cultivating positive ones. It's about developing mindfulness, compassion, and clarity while letting go of distractions that keep us from peace. Right mindfulness. Right mindfulness is about being present, aware of our thoughts, emotions, and actions without judgment. So much of our suffering comes from dwelling on the past or worrying about the future. Right mindfulness teaches us to live in the moment, fostering clarity and focus. Right concentration. This is about developing a focused, steady mind. It's about cultivating the ability to concentrate deeply and clearly, whether in meditation or in daily tasks. Right concentration leads to a peaceful, undistracted mind, able to see things as they truly are. Each of these steps is interconnected. They work together to transform our mind, our actions, and our relationship with the world. It's not about achieving perfection. It's about consistent practice and the willingness to face life's challenges with wisdom, compassion, and equanimity. As you walk the Eightfold Path, you'll find yourself moving through life with more peace, clarity, and compassion. And the more you practice, the more your mind will be free from suffering, allowing you to live a life of profound and liberating peace. So let me ask you, what steps of the Eightfold Path resonate most with you? How do you incorporate mindfulness into your daily life? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insights on mindfulness, inner peace, and walking the path of compassion. Thank you for being here. Let's continue this journey together, one step at a time. In our fast-paced lives, it's easy to react. Something happens, and immediately we feel the urge to respond. It's automatic, like a reflex. But have you ever stopped to ask yourself, why do I react the way I do? Or, what would happen if I didn't react at all? The truth is, the way we respond to life's challenges shapes our experience. It's not about avoiding difficult emotions. It's about learning how to handle them with wisdom and awareness. Reaction versus response. We've all had those moments when something unexpected happens and a rush of emotions takes over. Maybe someone says something hurtful or a plan falls through. The first instinct? React. We might get upset, defend ourselves, or even withdraw. It's the natural, automatic thing to do. But what if instead of reacting, we paused for a moment? What if we chose to respond rather than simply reacting? In Buddhism, we're taught to cultivate mindfulness, the ability to be fully present in the moment. This practice can help us shift from being reactive to being responsive. When we are mindful, we can observe our emotions without judgment. We can notice anger rising, frustration building, or sadness creeping in. And in that moment of awareness, we create space. The power of mindfulness. That space is where your true power lies. In that space, you can choose how to respond, rather than just reacting automatically. Imagine being in a conversation where someone says something that triggers you. Your first instinct might be to argue, defend, or lash out. But what if instead of immediately reacting, you took a deep breath, paused, and allowed the feeling to settle? In that moment, you'd have the choice to respond with clarity, kindness, or even with silence. This is the power of mindfulness. It allows you to break the cycle of automatic reactions and choose a more thoughtful, intentional response. Emotional mastery. The key to emotional mastery isn't about suppressing your emotions or pretending they don't exist. Emotions are natural. They come and go like the tides of the ocean. The goal isn't to stop the waves. It's to learn how to surf them. When you cultivate emotional awareness, you begin to recognize the patterns of your emotions. You notice when they arise, how they affect your thoughts and actions. And most importantly, you learn how to manage them. When you stop reacting automatically, something incredible happens. You begin to create space between what happens and how you respond. This space is where your true power lies. The space between reaction and response. In that space, you can choose whether to let anger control you or whether to respond with understanding. You can choose to let frustration fade away instead of allowing it to dictate your actions. And in that space, you realize you are not your emotions, and your emotions do not define you. This process takes time. It's not something that happens overnight. But with consistent practice, you'll start to notice a shift. You'll find that you're less reactive and more responsive. You'll become more patient, more understanding, and more clear-headed. And as you practice this, Your interactions with others will improve. You'll find that you handle difficult situations with greater ease, and you'll begin to feel more in control of your emotional state. Attachment and letting go. Buddhism teaches us that suffering comes from attachment to our desires, fears, and emotions. When we attach to how we want things to be, we set ourselves up for disappointment and frustration. But when we can let go of that attachment and simply observe, we free ourselves from the grip of our emotions. We allow ourselves to be present with what is, rather than being consumed by what we wish it to be. The difference between reaction and response. Think about a time when you reacted impulsively. Maybe you said something you later regretted or made a decision out of anger. How did that feel? Likely, it left you feeling unsettled, perhaps even ashamed or guilty. Now think about a time when you took a moment to pause and responded thoughtfully. How did that feel? Perhaps you felt more grounded, more at peace with yourself. The difference lies in the space between reaction and response. That space is where you can choose to act with wisdom rather than emotion. Emotional mastery and the eightfold path. Emotional mastery doesn't mean you'll never feel anger, sadness, or frustration again. These emotions are part of life, but by practicing mindfulness, you'll be able to manage them more effectively. You'll have the tools to respond thoughtfully rather than reacting impulsively. This ability to respond with mindfulness is a key aspect of walking the Noble Eightfold Path, a path that teaches us to act with wisdom, compassion, and mental discipline. So let me ask you, what would happen if every action you took, every word you spoke, and every thought you had was aligned with wisdom and compassion? How would your life change if you could break free from automatic reactions and choose to respond with awareness and calm? The Noble Eightfold Path isn't just for monks or those living in monasteries. It's for all of us, in every moment of our lives. It's a practical guide for living a life of integrity, wisdom, and inner peace. Take that first step. Start walking the path. Every moment is an opportunity to practice. And as you do, you'll find that peace, clarity, and freedom were always right there, waiting for you. Thank you for being here. Let's walk this path together. Imagine this. Life is like a river rushing toward the unknown. Every moment is filled with distractions, responsibilities, and challenges. You're standing in the middle of this storm, yet you remain still, grounded, unaffected by the chaos around you. You are the calm. This is the essence of emotional mastery and mindfulness. Life is unpredictable, filled with moments of uncertainty, frustration, and confusion. The world moves fast, and sometimes it feels like you're struggling just to keep up. But what if I told you that you have the power to be the calm amidst all of this? It's not about avoiding the chaos. It's not about running away from the noise. It's about how you respond to it. Think about it for a moment. How often do you get caught up in the drama of life? Maybe something unexpected happens, and you feel the rush of emotions, anger, fear, frustration, and immediately you react. You let your emotions take control and dictate your actions. But what if instead of reacting automatically, you paused? What if you chose to respond with awareness, patience, and clarity? Buddhism teaches us a simple but profound truth. The mind is not something we must fight against. It's something we can train. The peace we seek is not found in the absence of challenges, but in how we navigate through them. It's found in the stillness of the mind, even when the world around us is in turmoil. The power of mindfulness. Mindfulness is not just about sitting still in silence. It's about carrying that stillness with you. In every moment, in every situation, no matter how chaotic it may seem. When you understand this, you realize that you don't need to control the world around you. You don't need to force things to be a certain way. You only need to control how you respond. When you take a deep breath, center yourself, and pause before reacting, you begin to embody that calm. You are no longer a victim of your circumstances. You become the master of your own responses. This is true freedom. Mastering your mind. It might seem nearly impossible at first. The mind is powerful, and it has a tendency to race from thought to thought, like a monkey swinging from branch to branch. But just as a monk trains his mind to sit in stillness, so can you. It's a practice. It requires patience and persistence. With each moment, you take to observe your thoughts and let them pass like clouds in the sky. You're training your mind to be calm. The storm may still come, but now you'll face it with grace. The same waves that once threatened to drown you now become something you can ride, and with each challenge you overcome, you grow stronger. You begin to realize that nothing outside of you has the power to shake your inner peace, unless you allow it. Becoming the calm in the chaos. So how do you become the calm in the chaos? It starts with understanding that the power is already within you. It's not something you need to search for outside yourself. It's here, in the present moment, waiting for you to tap into it. Every time you choose to respond with patience, kindness, and awareness, you're building that inner strength. Every time you resist the urge to react out of anger or fear, you reinforce that sense of calm. Reflecting on your responses. Think about the last time you faced a difficult situation. Maybe it was a tough conversation with a loved one, a stressful moment at work, or even something as simple as traffic. In that moment, how did you respond? Did you react impulsively? Or did you take a moment to pause, breathe, and simply be present with what was happening? The more you practice this, the easier it becomes to respond with clarity, to face challenges without being swept away by them. The Zen story of calm. There's an ancient Zen story that speaks to this very point. A monk once asked his master, "Master, how can I find peace in the midst of chaos?" The master replied, "You are like a lake. The water is always still at the bottom, no matter how much the surface is disturbed. If you can learn to settle your mind in the depths, you will always find peace." This story reminds us that our true nature, our true peace, lies beneath the surface of our chaotic thoughts. You are the lake, still grounded and capable of finding peace in any storm. So I ask you, how would your life change if every thought, every word, every action you took was aligned with mindfulness, patience, and clarity? What if you could be the calm in the storm, the rock that remains unmoved by the waves? The practice of emotional mastery and mindfulness isn't about achieving perfection. It's about practicing patience, being aware, and learning to respond thoughtfully, no matter what life throws your way. Remember, the storm will come, but you have the power to remain calm. You are the master of your own mind. Thank you for being here. Take a moment today to pause, breathe, and choose how you want to respond. And as always, if this resonated with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insights on emotional mastery, mindfulness, and living with peace and presence. We are like that still lake, waiting to be discovered. The calm that lies beneath the surface of our minds is always there, just waiting for us to tap into it. To become the calm in the chaos is to fully embrace the present moment, to surrender to life as it is, rather than resisting it. When you let go of the need to control, you free yourself from the constant pressure of trying to fix everything. You stop swimming against the current and instead learn to float. You learn to go with the flow, trusting that everything will unfold as it should. And no matter what happens, you'll remain anchored in your own inner peace. Surrendering and trusting the flow. The world will always be full of challenges. People will disappoint you. Things won't go as planned. Life will sometimes feel overwhelming. But here's the truth. None of that has to disturb your peace. You are not a passive participant in your life. You are the creator of your own experience. When you learn to control your mind, you control your reality. It's as simple as that. There will be days when you slip, when you react in ways you wish you hadn't. But remember, this journey isn't about perfection. It's about progress. Each step you take toward becoming more aware of your thoughts, more mindful of your reactions, brings you closer to mastering your mind. And with each step, you move closer to becoming the calm in the chaos, facing setbacks with grace. As you continue this journey, remember, it's okay to have setbacks. It's okay to feel the storm at times. What matters is how you come back to center, how you return to that place of stillness, no matter how many times you stray from it. Just like the waves of the ocean, your thoughts and emotions will come and go. The key is to remember that you are not your thoughts. You are the observer of them. When you understand this, you unlock the power to manage your responses, rather than be swept away by the tide of your emotions. Embodying the calm. So as you walk this path, take a deep breath, find the stillness within, become the calm in the chaos, and watch as your life transforms. Your mind is your greatest ally, and with the right training it can be the source of limitless peace, strength, and wisdom. As we come to the end of this series, I want to leave you with this thought. The journey of mastering your mind is not a destination. It's a lifelong practice. It's a continuous unfolding of who you truly are, a being of peace, wisdom, and compassion. As you move forward, remember that you have everything you need within you to overcome anything life throws your way. Be the calm, and the chaos will no longer control you. Thank you for joining us on this journey. May you walk this path with mindfulness, and may your heart always remain peaceful, no matter what storm may come your way. There are so many views on this channel, but only 0.2% of viewers are subscribed. If you found this series helpful, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Wisdom Woven. Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and let's continue this conversation together. Stay peaceful, stay calm, and remember, you are the master of your mind. So the next time you feel overwhelmed, remember, you have the power to calm your mind, just like the ocean beneath the waves. It all begins with understanding, acceptance, and mindfulness. If this video resonated with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. What challenges have you faced in calming your mind? How do you handle stress and overwhelming thoughts? Let's start a conversation about how we can all train our minds to overcome anything life throws at us. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more powerful content on mindfulness and mental well-being. Thank you for watching. Let's continue this journey together. Have you ever thought about the mind as a tool? Not inherently good or bad, but something we can choose to shape and guide? When we begin to see our mind this way, we realize something incredible. We have the power to control how we use it. Do we allow it to lead us down paths of fear and worry? Or do we train ourselves to steer it towards peace, kindness, and understanding? One of the most powerful tools we have in Buddhism is mindfulness. But what exactly does that mean? Mindfulness is all about being present, fully present, in the moment, without judgment, without distractions. When we practice mindfulness, we start to observe the thoughts that arise in our minds. They come and go, just like clouds floating across the sky. Some thoughts are heavy, others are light. But the key is, none of them are permanent. As we practice mindfulness, we start to see that our thoughts don't define us. They're just passing phenomena. And here's the real power. We are the ones who choose how to respond to them. Now let's take this a step further. Our minds aren't separate from our bodies. The way we think, how we feel, it's all deeply connected to how we experience life. Have you noticed that when you're anxious or stressed, your body reacts? Your heart races, your muscles tense up. But here's the flip side. When we learn to calm the mind, the body follows. By training the mind to relax, we also teach the body to ease into calm. So how do we begin this journey of training the mind? It starts with awareness. The first step is simply observing the thoughts that arise. Without trying to change them, notice the patterns in your thinking. Are you always stuck in the past, regretting things that have already happened? Or are you constantly worried about the future, unsure of what's to come? These are natural tendencies of the mind, but they don't have to control us. The key is bringing your focus back to the present moment. The more we focus on now, the more we realize the past is gone, the future is not here yet. The only moment that truly exists is the one you're living right now. And in this moment, you have the power to choose how to respond. The power of letting go. Buddhism teaches that suffering arises when we cling to the past, the future, or even to our own thoughts. But when we let go of this attachment and learn to simply observe our thoughts without getting lost in them, we unlock a freedom like no other. The mind no longer controls us. Instead, we become the masters of our own mental state. Now, here's an interesting thing about the mind. It has a natural tendency toward negativity. This is called the negativity bias. It's an evolutionary survival mechanism that makes us focus more on potential threats than on positive experiences. The problem is, in modern life, it can work against us. We often dwell on our mistakes, our failures, and our worries, while ignoring the abundance of positive aspects in our lives. But the good news is, we can shift this balance. By practicing mindfulness, we can train ourselves to focus on the present moment, to appreciate the beauty around us, and to cultivate gratitude for what we have. When we train our mind this way, we shift our perspective from one of fear and scarcity to one of peace and abundance, patience and consistency. I'll be real with you. Training the mind takes time. It's not something that happens overnight. It takes consistent effort, patience, and compassion. But think about this. Just as a seed grows into a tree with the right care, so too will your mind begin to transform when you invest in it. So as we continue this journey of mental training together, remember, the mind is not your enemy. It's a tool, a powerful one, that can work for you. When you learn to work with your mind rather than against it, you unlock your potential for peace, clarity, and true freedom. Just like the ocean, your mind may always have waves, but beneath those waves is a deep, calm stillness. And once you learn to tap into that stillness, no thought, no emotion will ever be able to disturb your peace. The power of awareness in the present moment now. Let's get really practical. Have you ever noticed how much of your life passes by without you truly experiencing it? You're rushing through your day only to look back and realize you haven't really been anywhere. Your body's moving, but your mind is somewhere else entirely. It's like living on autopilot. But what if you could change that? What if you could bring your mind back to the present moment? Not in some distant future, but right here, right now. That's the true power of awareness. This idea of awareness is at the heart of mindfulness in Buddhism. It's the practice of being fully present in whatever you're doing, without judgment or distraction. And as simple as it sounds, it can truly transform your life in ways you might never have imagined. The present moment is the only moment we truly have. The past is gone, and the future isn't here yet. Yet so many of us spend time worrying about what has already happened or what might happen. We replay old conversations, rehash past mistakes, or fear what's to come next. But all of that takes us away from the richness of now, the only time where life truly exists. When you're aware of the present, you see the world more clearly. You notice the small things you might otherwise miss, the warmth of the sun on your skin, the sound of the wind in the trees, the taste of food. It's these little moments that make life meaningful. And when we practice mindfulness, we become more attuned to them. Conclusion. So let me ask you, what would happen if you started living with this awareness? If you began training your mind to be present, to observe your thoughts without judgment, and to cultivate a sense of peace in the now? The possibilities are endless. And this journey toward mental clarity and emotional freedom, it starts with you. If this message resonates with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. How do you deal with your mind when it feels out of control? What practices have you found help you stay present? Let's continue this conversation together. And of course, if you haven't yet, like, share, and subscribe for more powerful insights into the mind and how to live a peaceful, fulfilled life. Thank you for being here. Let's keep growing together. Intro. Have you ever noticed how often we rush through life, always busy, always doing, but never truly experiencing? What if I told you that you have the power to change that? To be fully present in each moment, aware of what's happening right now, instead of constantly lost in thoughts about the past or future. Imagine what it would feel like to truly appreciate each moment. The warmth of the sun on your skin, the taste of your food as it touches your tongue. These little moments are the fabric of life, and when you're truly present, you can enjoy them fully. But how do we actually do this? How do we slow down and be in the moment? It all starts with one simple step: stopping. We're constantly moving, constantly rushing, always doing. But to truly experience life, we need to pause. We need to slow down enough to notice the thoughts in our minds, the sensations in our bodies, and the world around us. This doesn't mean we stop living our lives or stop taking action. It simply means we begin to live more consciously, aware of each moment. This is where mindfulness comes in. Mindfulness is not just about sitting quietly in meditation, though that's part of it. It's about bringing awareness to everything you do. Whether you're washing dishes, walking down the street, or having a conversation, each moment is an opportunity to be fully present. It's easy to get lost in thought. Our minds are constantly jumping from one thing to the next. But when we practice mindfulness, we train ourselves to return to the present moment, again and again. And here's the best part. It's not about doing it perfectly. It's about noticing when you've drifted away and gently guiding your attention back. Imagine how much more peaceful your life would be if you could step out of the constant noise of your mind, if you could stop worrying about what might happen next or regretting what's already past. Imagine feeling fully connected to what's happening right now, appreciating each breath, each moment of stillness. This is the gift of awareness. Understanding mindfulness. Now, let's clear something up. Awareness doesn't mean forcing your mind to be calm. It's not about controlling your thoughts. It's about observing them without judgment. In Buddhism, thoughts are often compared to clouds in the sky, always passing by. You don't have to catch every cloud, hold on to it, or try to control it. You simply let it float by and return your attention to the present. And here's where the magic happens. The more present you become, the more you'll start to see the true nature of things. You'll notice how your thoughts and emotions rise and fall, just like the tides. You'll see how your mind gets caught in patterns of stress or worry, and how with practice you can release those patterns. Mindfulness helps you become less reactive and more peaceful, because you won't be swept away by every thought or emotion that comes your way. You'll become more grounded, more aware of your inner state, and more at peace with yourself. The compassionate power of awareness. But there's more. When you are truly present, when you're mindful, you become more compassionate. When you listen deeply. You can truly feel the connection with others, without distractions or your own thoughts getting in the way. You're no longer rushing through conversations or distracted by worries. You can give your undivided attention, and that makes a world of difference in your relationships. This doesn't just bring peace to your interactions, it creates harmony in your life. You'll be amazed at how much more meaningful your relationships can be when you show up fully present. Mindfulness also teaches us to accept life as it is. We often struggle with how things are, wishing they were different. But when we're present, we see things as they truly are, without distortion, without judgment. And in that seeing, there is freedom. You start to accept the imperfections of life and find peace with what is, rather than constantly striving for something else. Embracing impermanence and letting go. One of the most powerful aspects of mindfulness is realizing that everything is temporary. Just like clouds passing through the sky, your thoughts, emotions, and experiences are all transient. Nothing lasts forever. So when you're feeling upset or frustrated, remind yourself, this moment will pass. And when you're feeling joy or contentment, savor it fully, knowing it's precious and fleeting. There's incredible freedom in understanding the impermanent nature of life. It allows you to release your grip on things and simply flow with life. You no longer need to control every moment. Instead, you can embrace life's uncertainties with openness and acceptance. Living without attachment to outcomes. Mindfulness also teaches us not to be attached to specific outcomes. How many times have you done something with the expectation of a certain result, only to be disappointed when things didn't go as planned? When you're mindful, you learn to let go of the need for specific outcomes. You do things because they feel right, not because you're seeking approval or a reward. And in that space, you gain emotional freedom. Every moment is an opportunity to choose how you respond. When you're aware of your thoughts and emotions, you can respond with wisdom and compassion, rather than reacting out of habit or fear. This is the foundation of emotional freedom. You're no longer controlled by your impulses or triggered by external events. You can choose how to meet each moment, no matter what it brings. How to start practicing mindfulness. So how do you begin? It starts with noticing. Pay attention to your breath. Take a few minutes each day to sit quietly and observe the sensation of your breath coming in and going out. Notice when your mind begins to wander, and gently bring your focus back to your breath. This simple practice will start training your mind to be more aware in every moment of your day. As you continue to practice mindfulness, you'll find that you're more present with your family, more focused at work, and more connected to your own body and feelings. Life will never stop challenging you, but with mindfulness, you'll face each challenge with calm and clarity. You'll be like the still center of a storm, grounded and unshaken by the chaos around you. So what would it feel like to live fully in the present, to step out of the noise of your mind, to be fully aware and awake to each moment? The answer is in your hands. If this message resonated with you, let me know in the comments below. How do you stay present in your daily life? What practices help you stay grounded? Let's keep the conversation going. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more mindfulness insights that can help transform your life. Thank you for being here. Let's continue this journey together. Imagine your mind as a garden. What seeds are you planting in it? If you're planting seeds of anger, fear, or anxiety, those weeds will take root and grow strong. But if you plant seeds of peace, love, and clarity, your mind will bloom with those qualities. Now let's be real. Many of us have spent years cultivating a garden full of weeds. Our minds can get cluttered with negative patterns, automatic reactions, and thoughts that don't serve us. So how do we clear the garden and plant something new? The answer is simple: mindfulness. Think about this. How often do you go through your day on autopilot, reacting to things without really thinking about them? We respond to situations based on old memories or habits, often without any awareness. But mindfulness teaches us to step out of this autopilot mode and truly be in the moment. Mindfulness is not just a practice, it's a way of life. It's about being fully engaged in everything you do. Whether you're walking, eating, or talking, mindfulness asks you to be present in every moment. Through mindfulness, we begin to see the patterns of our thoughts. And once we recognize those patterns, we have the power to change them. It's like turning on a light in a dark room. You suddenly see the mess that was always there, and now you can clean it up. Let me give you an example. Imagine you're driving, and someone cuts you off in traffic. What's your automatic reaction? Maybe you get angry, honk the horn, or start cursing under your breath. But what if, in that moment, you could pause? Take a deep breath and simply become aware of the anger rising inside you. Mindfulness gives us the space to witness our emotions instead of letting them control us. It allows us to choose how we want to respond. Buddhism and the Noble Truths. In Buddhism, there's a powerful teaching called the Four Noble Truths. The first truth is that life is full of suffering. We all face challenges. The second truth is that the cause of suffering is our cravings and aversions. We want things to be a certain way, and when they aren't, we suffer. The third truth is that suffering can be overcome, and the fourth truth is the path to the cessation of suffering, which is the Noble Eightfold Path. Mindfulness is a key part of this path. It helps us break free from the cycle of craving and aversion. When we become aware of our thoughts and feelings, we start to see when they're leading us down a path of suffering. With this awareness, we gain the power to choose a different path, a path of peace, compassion, and understanding. How to practice mindfulness. So how do we practice mindfulness in everyday life? It's simpler than you might think. Start by focusing on your breath. Inhale deeply, exhale slowly, and bring your full attention to the sensation of the breath entering and leaving your body. Notice how your chest rises and falls, how the air passes through your nostrils. This simple practice can help quiet the chatter in your mind and bring you into the present moment. Next, bring mindfulness to whatever task you're doing. If you're eating, focus on the taste and texture of your food. If you're walking, feel the ground beneath your feet. If you're having a conversation, really listen to what the other person is saying, without thinking about your next response. In every moment, try to be fully present. The more you practice, the more natural it will become. Rewiring the brain mindfulness is more than just a practice. It's also about rewiring the brain. Studies have shown that regular mindfulness practice can actually change the structure of your brain, especially in areas related to emotional regulation and self-awareness. When we practice mindfulness, we become more aware of our habitual thought patterns, and over time, we begin to break free from old automatic reactions. It's like hitting the reset button on the way we think, feel, and respond. But here's the thing, mindfulness is not about suppressing thoughts or feelings. It's about observing them without judgment. When anger or sadness arises, don't push it away. Acknowledge it and ask yourself, what's happening right now? Why am I feeling this way? Through this process, we can let go of the grip that our thoughts and emotions have on us. There's a beautiful analogy in Buddhism where thoughts are compared to clouds in the sky, sometimes dark and stormy, but always passing by. Just like the clouds, our emotions come and go. We don't have to get caught up in them. Mindfulness helps us understand this truth. Our thoughts do not define us. We are the sky, vast, open, and free. Our thoughts are just passing clouds. Self-compassion. Mindfulness also teaches us to be kind to ourselves. How often do we judge ourselves harshly when we make a mistake? This self-judgment only creates more suffering. Mindfulness encourages us to treat ourselves with compassion, especially during moments of struggle. Instead of berating ourselves, we can pause, breathe, and offer ourselves the same kindness and understanding we would offer a friend. This is how we begin to break the cycle of negativity and cultivate inner peace. So where do we go from here? It all begins with noticing. Notice your breath, notice your thoughts, notice the world around you. By practicing mindfulness, we begin to rewire our brains and live with greater peace, clarity, and compassion. If this resonated with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. How do you practice mindfulness in your own life? What challenges do you face when trying to stay present? Let's continue the conversation, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insights on mindfulness and how it can transform your life. Thank you for being here. Let's keep growing together, one mindful moment at a time. Have you ever noticed how often we're our own harshest critics? When we're self-critical, it's easy to feel like we're falling short or that we need to do more. But what if in those moments you could gently bring your attention back to the present and remind yourself, I'm human, I'm doing the best I can, and that is enough. As you practice mindfulness, you might start to notice something incredible. Your mind becomes quieter, more peaceful, and more connected to the world around you. The best part? You may find yourself responding to life's challenges with greater patience and understanding. This is the power of rewiring your thought patterns through mindfulness. But here's the thing. Mindfulness isn't a quick fix. It's a lifelong practice. There will be times when your mind drifts, when you get caught up in negative thought patterns. And that's okay. The key is to notice when it happens and gently bring your attention back to the present moment. With time, you'll find that your mind becomes more peaceful, and so will your life. In Buddhism, we're taught that true freedom comes from within. We can't control the external world, but we can control how we respond to it. Through mindfulness, we learn to face life's challenges with calm and clarity. We begin to realize that our happiness doesn't depend on external circumstances, but on how we relate to those circumstances. How to practice mindfulness. So how do you start? Start small. Take just a few minutes each day to practice mindfulness. Focus on your breath. Inhale deeply, exhale slowly, and bring your attention to the present moment. Notice the rise and fall of your chest. Feel the air passing through your nostrils. This simple act of breathing can help quiet the noise in your mind and bring clarity to your thoughts. As you continue practicing mindfulness, you'll begin to experience a shift. You'll feel more grounded, more peaceful, and more in control of your mind. This practice trains your mind to become the master, not the servant, of your life. Letting go, the art of non-attachment in this world. We hold on to so many things, our thoughts, feelings, possessions, even our identities. We think that if we hold on tighter, we'll be in control. But have you ever wondered what it would feel like to let go, to release the need for control, and simply allow life to unfold as it will? This is the art of non-attachment, a powerful practice that can free you from suffering and bring you closer to true peace. Letting go doesn't mean you stop caring or abandon your responsibilities. It means you stop letting the things you cling to define you. When we're attached to something, whether it's a person, a goal, a desire, or an outcome, we create inner tension. It's like holding onto a rope, pulling it tighter and tighter, afraid that if we let go, everything will fall apart. But attachment creates a sense of insecurity and fear. The more we hold on, the more we suffer. Think about it. How many times have you clung to a thought or feeling, trying to control it, only for it to grow stronger the more you try to force it away? The suffering of attachment. This attachment, whether it's to a person, a job, a desire, or even an outcome, creates an inner restlessness. We constantly push, strive, and desire, but never truly find peace. The Buddha teaches that attachment is the root of suffering. It's the cause of much of our emotional turmoil. But here's the good news. If we learn to let go, to detach ourselves from our desires and expectations, we can experience a profound sense of freedom. Imagine the peace that comes with releasing the need for control, allowing things to come and go naturally, without resistance. When you let go of attachment, life becomes less about what you can hold on to and more about what you can experience. Attachment to identity and the past. Attachment isn't just about material things. It extends to how we feel about ourselves, too. So many of us become attached to our identity, how we define ourselves through our roles, achievements, or the image we project to the world. We get so attached to this idea of who we should be that we lose sight of who we truly are. We become afraid of change because we think it will erase everything we've worked so hard to become. But when we learn to let go, we begin to realize we are not our job, our possessions, or our reputation. We are simply who we are in this moment, free from the need to cling to anything. When we detach from the need to control how we're seen by others, we free ourselves from the anxiety that comes with trying to maintain a certain image. Letting go of this attachment to identity brings peace and freedom. Letting go of the past and future. Letting go also allows us to release the pain of the past. How often do we hold on to old wounds, grudges, or regrets? These attachments to past events keep us tied to the past, preventing us from moving forward. If we could just let go of these old hurts, we would create space for healing, growth, and joy. The past is past. It no longer has power over us unless we choose to hold on to it. Letting go helps us release the fear about the future, too. We spend so much time worrying about what might happen, what could go wrong, and how things might turn out. But here's the truth. The future is not something we can control. The more we worry, the more unnecessary stress and anxiety we create. But when we let go of attachment to a particular outcome, we allow ourselves to be fully present in the here and now. We trust that whatever comes, we will have the strength to face it, just as we've faced challenges in the past. So what does it mean to let go? It means releasing the need for control. It means freeing ourselves from attachment to people, outcomes, and identities. When we practice non-attachment, we experience a deep sense of peace, and our minds begin to quiet. Mindfulness is the key to this process. Through mindfulness, we can train ourselves to let go, to be present, and to trust the unfolding of life. The more you practice, the more freedom and peace you will experience. Let's continue this journey together. Share your thoughts in the comments below. What have you found most helpful in your mindfulness journey? How do you practice letting go? And, as always, if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insights on mindfulness and peace. Thank you for watching. Let's keep practicing, keep letting go, and keep growing together. In Buddhism, the concept of non-attachment is often misunderstood. Some people think it means not caring about anything or being indifferent to life's joys and struggles. But that's not what it's about at all. Non-attachment isn't about not caring. It's about caring deeply, but without clinging. It's about loving freely, without the fear of losing, and living fully without the need to control. It's about finding peace within ourselves, independent of the external world around us. One of the most profound practices in Buddhism is the cultivation of equanimity, the ability to remain calm and balanced, no matter the ups and downs of life. When we stop clinging to the highs and lows, to success and failure, we start to experience life as it is, without the turbulence created by our desires and expectations. The great Zen master, Shunryu Suzuki, once said, "When you realize nothing is lacking, the whole world belongs to you." When we let go of the need to control or possess, we open ourselves up to the fullness of life, becoming more present, more open, and more connected to the world around us. So how do we begin practicing the art of letting go? It starts with awareness. The first step is to notice when you're attached to something, whether it's a thought, a desire, or a fear. Simply observe it without judgment. Acknowledge that you're clinging to it, and recognize that this attachment is causing discomfort or stress. Gently remind yourself, it's okay to let go. The world won't fall apart if I release my grip. Once you've noticed it, the next step is surrender. Now, I don't mean giving up or becoming passive. Surrender in this context means letting go of the need for control. Trust that life will unfold as it should, even if it doesn't look exactly the way you imagined. Trust that you have the inner strength to handle whatever comes your way. You don't need to control every detail. Life will take care of itself if you let it. The final step is to practice compassion, both for yourself and for others. Non-attachment isn't about being cold or indifferent. It's about loving without possessiveness. It's about supporting others, sharing in their joys and struggles, but not clinging to them or expecting something in return. It's about recognizing that we are all interconnected, and true freedom comes when we let go of the need to possess or control. As you begin practicing letting go, you'll notice a shift. You'll feel lighter, more peaceful, and more open to whatever comes your way. By releasing your attachments, you're not losing anything. In fact, you're gaining so much more. You're gaining freedom, clarity, and joy. You're no longer weighed down by the need to hold on to everything, and instead, you're free to experience life in its fullness. Letting go is not about giving up. It's about embracing the flow of life. It's about accepting that everything changes and trusting that, in the end, we are always exactly where we need to be. The more you practice non-attachment, the more peace you'll find in the present moment. The more you let go, the more you'll discover the true strength of your mind. This strength will carry you through anything life throws your way. Cultivating compassion as inner strength. Now let's shift gears a bit and talk about compassion, the true measure of inner strength. In life, we often associate strength with power, control, or dominance. We think strength means conquering others, standing tall, and never showing vulnerability. But in reality, the greatest strength lies not in fighting the world, but in embracing it with kindness and compassion. Think back to a moment when you witnessed someone suffering. Maybe it was a stranger, or maybe it was someone you love. How did you feel? Did you turn away, feeling helpless, or did you offer a word of comfort or simply share a kind gesture? Compassion isn't just about being kind to others. It's about recognizing that suffering is a universal experience. We all face challenges, pain, and difficulty at different times. When you cultivate compassion, you're not just extending kindness outward, you're also healing yourself. The power of compassion. Buddhism teaches us that compassion is not a passive emotion. It's not something that comes and goes based on the circumstances. Compassion is an active practice, a strength that grows from within. It's like a seed that, with time and care, blossoms into something beautiful. The seed of compassion is planted when you allow yourself to feel empathy for others, when you truly understand their struggles without judgment. And it's through this understanding that your heart and mind begin to transform. There's a quiet, profound power in compassion. It doesn't demand anything from you. It simply asks that you open your heart. When you see someone in pain, whether it's physical, emotional, or mental, compassion allows you to approach that pain with a calm, understanding mind. It helps you respond with love and warmth, not with fear or discomfort. Self-compassion. But here's the catch. Compassion doesn't stop with others. It's equally important to show compassion to yourself. Many of us are our own harshest critics, beating ourselves up over mistakes, failures, or things that are beyond our control. We forget that we, too, are deserving of kindness. Just like anyone else, we face difficulties and we need compassion to heal and move forward. When you practice self-compassion, you create space for growth and healing. You allow yourself the grace to stumble and learn without condemning yourself for being imperfect. After all, compassion is not about being perfect. It's about recognizing that every living being, including you, has moments of suffering. It's in these moments of suffering that compassion becomes a powerful tool for resilience. Think about a time when you felt truly understood. Maybe it was a friend who simply listened, or a stranger who shared a kind word. That moment of connection, knowing that you weren't alone. That's what compassion brings to the world. That's what transforms us. So how do we start living this compassionate, non-attached life? It begins with awareness, surrender, and compassion for others and for ourselves. The more we practice, the more we experience peace, joy, and freedom. Let me know in the comments. How do you practice compassion, both for others and for yourself? How do you let go of attachment and find peace? I'd love to hear your thoughts. And as always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insights on mindfulness, compassion, and finding inner peace. Thank you for being part of this journey. Let's keep practicing and growing together. Compassion is often called the light that pushes back against the darkness we sometimes feel. In Buddhism, compassion is closely linked to karuna, a Sanskrit word that refers to the desire to alleviate suffering. But karuna isn't just about feeling sympathy for others. It's about actively wanting to help. It's about using your strength to lighten someone else's burden, whether that means offering a helping hand or simply being there for someone in their pain. True compassion comes from seeing the world through the eyes of another. It's about understanding that their suffering is no different from yours. When you recognize this shared experience of suffering, you break down the barriers that often keep you disconnected from others. You start to see that we're all part of the same human journey, and in that realization, you find a deep well of strength. But before we can extend this kind of compassion outward, we must first turn inward. Cultivating compassion. Compassion starts with self-awareness. How often do you treat yourself with the same kindness you show to others? How often do you forgive yourself for your mistakes, offering yourself the same compassion you'd offer a loved one? These are tough questions, but they're the first step toward cultivating true compassion. As you begin to nurture this practice, something amazing happens. The more you give, the more you receive. Your heart expands, your mind quiets, your relationships with others become richer and deeper. And here's the key. Your inner strength grows, not through resistance or force, but through understanding, patience, and love. In every moment, you have the opportunity to choose compassion. You can choose kindness, offer comfort, listen deeply, understand, and act with empathy. The more you practice, the more you'll see its power to transform your life and the lives of those around you. The power of compassion. The beauty of compassion is that you don't need to find it or acquire it. It's already within you. Compassion is part of your nature, a quiet strength waiting to be awakened. All it takes is the intention to cultivate it and allow it to grow in your heart. In the end, compassion is the key to overcoming not just external obstacles, but the internal struggles that keep us trapped in negativity and fear. When you choose compassion, you choose peace. When you choose compassion, you choose freedom. So let's walk this path of compassion together. Let's be the ones who extend a hand when others fall, the ones who offer a kind word when the world feels harsh. Let compassion be the inner strength that guides us through every challenge. And in every act of kindness, we're not only helping others, but ourselves, too. Facing suffering without fear, suffering is a part of life. It comes to all of us in one form or another. Whether it's physical pain, emotional loss, or the disappointment of unfulfilled dreams. No matter how hard we try, we can't escape suffering. It's always there, lurking in the background, ready to remind us of life's impermanence. But here's the question. How do we face it? How do we navigate through suffering without letting it consume us? In Buddhism, suffering isn't something to be feared or avoided. It's something to be understood, accepted, and transcended. Imagine for a moment that you're holding a heavy stone in your hand. At first, it's just a small weight, manageable and easy to carry. But as you hold it longer, your hand starts to ache. Your arm gets tired, and soon the weight becomes unbearable. Now, what if I told you that the stone wasn't heavy at all? What if the weight you feel isn't in the stone itself, but in how tightly you're gripping it? This is what suffering feels like. We cling to our pain, our grief, and our disappointments, and that's what makes it so heavy. The more we hold on to it, the more unbearable it becomes. But here's the truth. If we could release our grip, even just a little, the weight would become lighter, and we'd find ourselves able to carry it more easily. This is the first step in facing suffering without fear, recognizing that suffering isn't our enemy. It's simply part of the human experience. The nature of attachment and impermanence. Buddhism teaches that suffering arises from attachment. We attach ourselves to things, people, and experiences, thinking they'll bring us lasting happiness. But when these things inevitably change, we're left with a sense of loss, and with it, suffering. So the key isn't to avoid attachment altogether, but to understand its impermanence. Let me share a simple story. There was once a wise monk who had spent years meditating in a remote temple. One day, a young man came to him seeking advice on how to end his suffering. He asked, "Master, I am in great pain. My heart is heavy and I cannot find peace. What should I do?" The monk replied, "You are suffering because you are holding on to something that is not meant to last. Imagine a flower that blooms in the morning and withers by evening. You do not mourn its passing because you know it was never meant to stay. So too your pain will pass, but only when you learn to let it go." The young man was puzzled. "But how can I let go of my pain? It feels so real, so overwhelming." The monk smiled gently and said, "Suffering is like a cloud in the sky. It comes, but it also goes. The more you focus on it, the longer it lingers. But if you simply allow it to pass without clinging to it, you will find that it fades away. Pain is temporary, but the peace you find in letting go is everlasting."